Hello everyone, you are welcome to the Kawman School of Thoughts once again, and I'm so excited because I've seen so many students struggle with the method for dividing numbers which are not so simple to divide. And so for example, if I ask you to do this division, 20 divided by 4, it's very easy to do 20 divided by 4, which is what, 5. But if I ask you then again to divide 27 by, let's say, 6, that is where the problem comes. We cannot, most of us, me included, cannot do these divisions on top of our heads easily. So that is why I've taken time to make a video on how to divide such numbers using the long division method, and I'm going to try to make it as simple as possible for you to understand. All right, without wasting much time, let's get into it. So say we have a number like 24 divided by, let's say, 2. All right, I'll start with very simple numbers so that I just increase the level of difficulty. So let's say 24 divided by 2. You can quickly do this on top of your head, which is going to be just 12. All right, but then how do you use the long division method to actually arrive at this answer? It's very simple. Now, just so you know that by all means we will treat fractions when we get there, but just to give you a big view into the future, you can see that this is the numerator and this is the denominator. This expression here can be rewritten as 24 over what, 2, where this 24 is the numerator and then the 2 is the denominator. All right, so keep this in mind. The top is the numerator, the down is the denominator. So how do we correctly, in fact some students even miss this step in the first place, how do we correctly write 24 divided by 2 in the long division symbol? Like this, we use this symbol for long division. So I'm going to put this into it. Now the first number we are dividing goes under the symbol, which is like this. So this is going to be 24, and then the 2, what we are dividing by, comes out, which is what, 2. So this is the correct way of representing division in the long division method. Now, how then do we divide? Easy. We are going to use a very simple formula, and that formula I have shortened it to be DMS. Right now, DMS, D, M, and S. Now the D stands for division, the M stands for multiplication, and then the S stands for subtraction. Good. So once you understand this, half of your problem is solved. Okay, so let's take it from the top again. So we're going to follow, I'm cleaning this right now, so let me clean a bit in. So we have DMS, D, M, S. Remember, division, multiplication, subtraction. Okay, sometimes it's good to be learning with a notebook so that when I write, you can rewrite the notes before I clean it. But other than that, you can re-watch the video and then make your own note out of it. It's also allowed. So we are treating 24 divided by 2. So 24 divided by 2, and I said it's going to be 2 out and 24 in. Okay. So now that we are here, how do we divide? First of all, we go to the D, which is what, division. So we take the digits one after the other. Okay. So these 2, we divide these first 2 here. Okay. So 2 divides 2. How many? 1. That's correct. So 2 goes into 2 once, write the 1 here on top of what? The number you are dividing. Then the next operation is what? Multiplication. 1 times 2. You see, you multiply 1 times 2, and the answer is going to be what? 2. What is your next operation? So we've done division and got 1. Multiplication, 1 times 2. Always the number at the top, 1 times 2, and you're getting what? 2. Now the next thing to do is what? Subtraction. So what do? We subtract these two numbers we see here. So subtract. And then you write a beautiful line down there. So forget about these numbers you are seeing here. So 2 minus 2. And the answer is going to be 0. You see, you are done. So that means you finish dividing this one, 0, there's no remainder. So that has been done with. Now the next number in line, or the next digit, is 4. So use the small arrow to indicate it being brought down. So we bring down the 4 like this. So 4 comes down. So 4. So after this line, forget about whatever is at the top. So this can be your new number you are dividing. Have you seen it? So now you divide. So after the line, you go back to what? The formula again. So what's your D? Division. So you divide. So 4. Good. So after you've written your 4, forget about every other thing you see here, and then the system repeats itself. So we go through this process again. That's all about what? Line division. Let's go through the process. So D means for division. So 2 divides 4. How many times? That's 2. And where do you write the answer? You write the answer here. On top here. 2. So now that you've written the answer, what do you do next? You multiply. Okay, so keep your eyes here. You multiply. So what do you multiply by what? So the 2. The answer I just got 2. This 2 times this 2 outside. So 2 times 2 gives us what? 4. Then we write the answer for underneath this one. 4. Then what do we do next? Subtract. Then we subtract. We rule a beautiful line. Then 4 minus 4 is what? 0. You see, there's no other number, so it means you are done, and there's no remainder. So this brings you to your final answer, which is what? 12. So 24 divided by 2 is what? 12. So have you seen it? As simple as that. Let's pick another example. (54) divided by 2 using the long division method. It's very important to you to get the concept. Then we what now go to do much more difficult numbers. So when you get the concept, then we what upgrade from there. So you rewrite this in your table. Like I said, this first number goes inside the symbol. So you do this. So 54 goes in 5 4. And then the 2, the number outside comes out 2, just like this. Then your system sets in. So what's the first operation? Division. Have you seen it? Yeah. So we divide. So 2 divides this 5. Okay, so just pick one number. So 2 divides the 5. How many times? That's 2 times. So write your 2 at the top here. 2. Next operation, multiplication, right? So you go this 2 at the top here times what? This 2. So 2 times 2 gives you what? 4. And you write another number, and so you write it under the number you divided, which is what? 5. So you're going to write 2 times 2 4 under the 5. So 4 like this. So what is your next operation? Subtraction, right? So it's going to be subtraction. So we are going to subtract now. You put your subtraction sign there. So it's going to be 5 minus 4, which is going to be what? Real nice line, which is 1. Have you seen it? So it means, in natural sense, it means 2 goes into 5, 2 times remainder was 1. Okay? Now we bring down the next digit, which is what? 4. So 4 comes down here. So you bring down the 4. Then you see, after I told you, after this line, it means what? Everything resets. Forget about every other thing at the top. So we now have 14 here. So 14 how many times? Then you go through the same process again. So division. So 2 divides 14 how many times? And that is what? Just 7. So write your 7 at the top here. So 7 times 2, which is multiplication. The next is multiplication. So the next is multiplication. So 7 times 2 gives us what? 14. And we subtract and we get what? 0, 0. So that's all about the long division. As simple as it can get. But of course, there are tricks. Alright. So now that you understand this, keep this knowledge and let's transfer this knowledge into other forms. So let's pick another example. Like say, let's pick an odd number. Okay, something you get a decimal. So let's pick 11. Okay, so 11 divided by 2. Okay, so like I said, this number, the first number goes into under the sign inside. So 11 out here, and the 2 comes out. Are we seeing it like this? So we now then go through the same system again. So you ask yourself, so you put the numbers one by one. You ask yourself, how many times would this 2 divide this 1? No, don't say it's not possible. Don't. Alright, it's very possible. 2 divides 1 how many times? 0 times. Yeah, 0 is a whole number. Have you forgotten already? So 2 divides 1, 0. Write a 0 here. Have you seen it? Then we now go to our next operation, multiplication. So 0 times 2 is what? 0. Remember, any number times 0 is 0. So that's 0 here. Then what do we do next? We subtract. So that's going to be 1 minus 0. Real beautiful line. 1 minus 0 is what? 1. Okay, good. Then you bring down your next number to join the division. So 1 comes down here. Good. Now that we have 1 here, so after bringing it down, I told you forget about these numbers at the top. So what number do we have here? 11. So 2 divides 11 how many times? 5 times. 5 times. So 5, you know, we just divided and we got 5. So the next thing we'll do is what? Multiplication. So 5 times 2 is going to be equal to 10. And so now that we have 10, what's our next operation? Subtraction. Good. So we subtract. So we have 11 minus 10. So you can start 1 minus 0, which is what? 1. 1 minus 1, 0. So at the end of the day, you have 1. Okay. Now, there's no other number, there's no other digit to bring down. So what do? Do we stop? No. We won't stop because we have not finished. And until the number is recurring, that's repeating, or we get 0, we are not stopping. So what do we do here? We add 0. Okay, so we add 0 to this number 1 we see here. So we add 0. So I mean, just ignore this. This is insignificant. You can fill in it if you want to. So now we have 10. Okay, but immediately you add 0, you must indicate it in your answer. And as a way of indication, you put a decimal point over there. So you put a decimal point here because you added 0. So now that you've added 0, you go through the process again, division. So 2 divides 10 how many times? And the answer is going to be 5. What's your next operation? Multiplication. So we multiply 5 times 2 gives us what? 10. And write our 10 here. And then what do? We subtract. 0 minus 0 is 0. 1 minus 1, 0. So you see 0, 0. So we end the answer here. Therefore, 11 divided by 2 is 5.5. Of course, you can do this on top of your mind. You can do this mentally. But for those of you who really want to understand the long division method, this is the way to go. Just by following DMS, you arrive at your answer.